Descent into Subconscious is the cooler younger brother of Forgotten Realm. It has 3 different floors of varying shapes and sizes, all decorated and dressed from Jin's memories. But the highest floor is one of the more interesting floors of a stage, sporting Tekken 8's latest and greatest newest gimmick, the hard floor break. When the top floor is ready to be broken, you do any sort of combo with a ground splat and the floor will... Why did it not break? This was the same question that a lot of people asked when they ran into this bug online. Let's get a few things out the way with this bug. Descent into Subconscious is the only stage where this bug happens. It doesn't happen on standard floor break stages, and as of this time of making this video, there are no other hard floor break stages in Tekken 8. Additionally, this bug only affects player 2. Player 1 will never be affected by this bug in an actual match. Now you may be wondering,
hang on a minute, I've experienced this bug when I was player 1.
And to that I say, you were never actually player 1. And no, this isn't an attempt to gaslight you or anything, but you actually weren't player 1. Choosing your preferred side online does not select if you're player 1 or player 2, it only forces that perspective. In every match, someone has to be registered as player 1 and player 2. I don't want to go into too much detail on this, but all you need to know in the context of this bug, if you load into the map and you cannot see the gate, you are player 2. Alternatively, if you're one of the cool few to play on the right side and you can see the gate, you are also player 2. To break the top floor, you either need to strike it hard with a floor breaking heat smash, or hit it twice, once to get it changed to its pinkish hue, and again to break it. Additionally, if one of the players reaches a round where they could win the match next game, the floor will also turn pinkish, which will allow the next combo with a ground splat to break it, if it actually worked as intended. This condition is the actual culprit for this bug in quite an interesting way. Usually, when you make an interactable object in any sort of game, everything related to how that object should function is usually kept within that object. So if I were to make a floor in my own game, every impact made on the floor would be tracked in the floor itself. Tekken 8, however, does this. Yep, impacts are tracked in the characters themselves. I'm not exactly sure why these are stored in the character, but you can already guess how this can potentially become an issue. Picture a counter above both characters. Let's say that this counter needs to be at least 1 for the floor to break. Whenever a floor impact is made, this counter increments by 1 for both players. So what happens when a new round starts and one of the players is close to winning? This happens. Player 1's counter is incremented correctly, but player 2's isn't. If player 2 at this point lands a launcher and performs a combo with a ground splat present, the combo will not break the floor. This is why this bug consistently happens on these potential final rounds, and it's why it's even consistent during replays. So the next question is, can player 2 fix this problem for themselves? Luckily, they can. If player 2 manages to hit player 1, then their artificial counter will be fixed to the value that it should be. This can be any attack, any strike of any level, a grab, and even unblockables that do no damage will work. The only thing is that the chosen attack needs to connect. If player 1 blocks the attack, techs the throws, or even takes chip damage, player 2's artificial counter will remain unfixed. Additionally, if player 2 loses health from getting hit by player 1, their counter still doesn't correct themselves. So player 2 needs to land a strike. If player 2 gets a hit on player 1, they can perform any combo with a bound and the floor will properly break. And that's all there is to this bug. Hopefully, this issue gets fixed sooner than later. Wait a minute, it gets fixed tomorrow? Huh, it's kinda good.